A quality conversation pitting my fellow musketeer Robert Osoro and one man who featured previously for the national team and FC Leopards, Peter Lichungu. Sober chat it has been, and of course talking about his days during national team Harambee Stars and FC Leopards as well, and the expectations looking forward to. Chan, of course, has been included in the committee that probably will be ensuring that a tournament meant for local best players earmarked for early next year happens here, and it's gonna be a successful tourney. Maybe details about the same?
It does not have a job as a secretariat as that. What he has is looking for former players who can be used as tour guides for these teams when they come here, because for the Confederations of African Football, they don't want to use tour guides. Someone who has been doing marketing for some Mercedes-Benz in Ngara to be a tour guide for the Ghana national team when they come here. So it is good when you see a former footballer taking over the team. Or how do you make it?
It's good. They get involved in the sport. At least they've grown in the sport. So at least even in your heydays, you still feel part of the footballing family. It's good.
Definitely. We're just tuning in. Touchline is the show on Y254 1222 Maxwell Wasike alongside Robert Osoro, taking you through, keeping you posted with the latest in sports, both local and beyond. And joining us on set is another former Kenyan international, Simon Sepe Mulama, just joining us to dissect about KPL fixtures and Gotv Shield matches lined up this afternoon, various pitches across several parts of the country. And remember, during midweek, Tusk FC, KPL defending champions, being docked 3 points after what IDCC, that is Independent Disciplinary Complaints Committee, termed as fielding players who lacked Football Kenya Federation accredited badges during their clash against Zuko Kerich. Of course, they had won 2-0. 2 points, big blow. 3 points being docked off.
Yes, 3 points, 2 goals in a match that they played for 90 minutes and won.
Yes.
You know, they say rules are rules, but also, you know, you have to keep the sporting spirit also. The spirit of fairness, have to keep it in the sport as well. You know, I thought it was a little bit too harsh for Tusker. Yes, it's good. You can fine them, you know, but don't punish them.
What do you make of the discipline in terms of comparison of point deduction and financial implications, where probably they get a fine of, you know, monetary form? What's the best?
You know, like I said, you know, you can discipline without necessarily punishing. It just depends with the extremity, with the extremes. You know, if you have situations where we have life-threatening incidences, then you can do both. You can punish these guys and even fine them. You know, but for a team like for lenient mistakes, I think, like what Tusker had the other day, I think you can discipline them, give them a fine, 300,000, 420,000.
You're going to sympathize with Tusker because for them it was not following the rules. But now, according to the IDCC, it's all about going for the rules and the rules. But talk of Moroni Youth, where we have real drama from the chairman of the team down to the pitch itself, from what they did with the other player last season, Ochomo, making a move over to Kakamega Homeboys. This is going to affect them largely because they are now in the relegation, bottom of the table.
Yes, I think for Muhoroni, it was about time, because we've had complaints over complaints and complaints and complaints. You know, this is not the first time. Even earlier on in the year, I think one of the officials, Opio, was suspended for a year. You know, for such stuff. Last year we had players complaining. Some officials went to the clubhouse and they beat them up because they were asking for their salaries. So it's a habit, you know, in Gotv in Kisumu. I think we were with you some time back. In Kisumu, we saw much officials actually being intimidated to change, you know, the run, how the match is going, and even how the result could be at the end of the match. Now, for Muhoroni, I might not seem to have a soft spot for them, because now this is becoming a habit. You know, they just came into the league 5 years back, 2012, I think that's when they got into the league. And now, they're acting as if everybody owes them something.
And you know what, Simon? And this is why the Africa Cup, the Confederation of African Football, was fighting very much for us to have CAF licensing so that we can really monitor what is going on in this club. Now, in Moroni, past being the indiscipline on the pitch of the chairman Adagala himself, it also comes down to paying of salaries. Because last season we saw many players in the first leg deciding to leave Moroni, because now you are coming into an instance where the briefcase of the chairman is the one that is governing if I'm gonna pay you, if I'm not going to pay you, and this is not what we want in Kenyan football.
Yes, this is what we want. I think there was some leniency in the club licensing. The same thing I think should have applied to Tusker in the docking of points. Yeah. You know, when we have such leniency and you start taking advantage of them, they say, don't take my kindness for weakness. You know, I think, you know, being too kind for some teams and then they take advantage of that, I don't think it's fair, because Muhoroni now, they have a history. You ask anyone who knows about Kenyan football, if you've heard anything about the Kenyan clubs in the last 3 years, Muhoroni now lists among the most notorious clubs. How do you explain an experienced coach like Gilbert Selebwa? He's been a panelist, he's a football analyst, he's a commentator, he's a very qualified coach, he's done so much for Kenyan football. How do you explain him going to Moroni 2 matches, then leaves? How do you explain that? Of course, you know, it's an environment that nobody can, you know, can thrive in.
Yeah. Talking about Moroni Youth Football Club is a team that takes part in top tier, that is Kenyan Premier League, and its chairman Moses Adagala was suspended for 2 months, of course the next 60 days, not appearing in any stadium by IDCs after what they termed as incitement of their fans to cause violence and chaos at their home stadium when they are taking on the opponents in KPL. So according to you, the ban is justified?
I think the ban, yes, the ban, number one, the ban is justified. The fines are too low.
They should be higher.
They're way higher than that. You know, you get them where next time anyone tries to do anything, they remember what happened to them last time. Because I was talking to somebody about the same, and we said, you know, this thing happened in May. And we now we're in July, maybe August. You know, three months down the line, somebody fines you for 200,000 shillings. So I can be doing this every day, knowing that the judgment will always come three months down the line. If you do that in a year, I'll only pay 500, 600,000 Kenyan shillings.
Considering that there are some matches that are actually not in the ruling, because we saw the match against Nzoia Sugar is not on the ruling. The only discipline they got was them not playing at their home ground back in Moroni. Then the other matches, like for Kariobangi, Ulinzi Stars was also there for Tusker, and Sony Sugar. Then all these matches are not there, and this one is going to affect them largely going into the end of the season, because right now we've got Selebwa, the coach, leaving. It is round 20. We are supposed to play up to round 30. Around
37 or 35.
37, yeah. Can these guys go ahead and do that? Because James Omondi doesn't look like a kind of coach who can help you get out of relegation and come on top and win something, or get out of relegation.
Somehow they've always emerged to do that. The last 3 seasons, I think they've been marvelous. They've been great, especially when we had Patrick Odhiambo Paidogi, then we had Nkata Zoedigit, Muhoroni. I think they've had some good season in the past, but I think this year is going to be tough, especially considering what you're saying. Some of the matches have not, you know, where people have made genuine complaints, the decisions have not been made. If we're looking at points being deducted from about 3 more matches and more disciplinary measures, I think it's going to be a very, very tough time for them to try and stay in the league and avoid the relegation. Remember, they were yet to be relegated. They were about to be relegated, actually, and Adagala fought so hard because of the club licensing when he said Muhoroni is here to stay. We are not going anywhere, despite the fact that we flouted. You know, we're not meeting the standards that the licensing agencies and CAF requires, but we are here to stay. You know, it's like, you know, you're just forcing your way through everything. Now, Odijo has a way that he works with Muhoroni. The other day, they left him in Mumias. And you know, he said in Swahili, walinacha katikati ya shamba. And they drove off. And somehow he finds his way back on the Muhoroni bench and wants to be a coach. You know, and this kind of behavior is what gives some of the leaders of these clubs the authority and the power and the feeling that, you know what, we can still be doing this to these guys.
Yes.
You know, Muhoroni needs to be a club that Selebwa leaves today. If you are asked to go and coach, they say, if Selebwa left, I'm not coming. You know, so that they know certain behaviors cannot be accepted in football, then they start improving. But I think, like you asked, is this going to help them remain in the league? I doubt if they'll be able to survive, especially if the rulings that will come later on about some of the matches that you've mentioned will include them being docked some points.
But it is going to be tough for Moroni youth there, but we gotta come back and now discuss the quarterfinals of the Gotv show.
But also, Robert, before we get to the Gotv, of course,
Right.
Pascal Ogweno, a man who is featuring for Kariobangi Sharks, a team that is closely associated with one of the football top honchos in the country, was banned for close to 6 months for what they termed as tearing a cautionary card belonging to a match official when they were locking horns against Posta Rangers some time back. I don't know from your own end, too harsh, justified?
No, justified. Justified.
Today you are agreeing with everything. Ruled.
The only thing I don't agree with is the Tusker ruling. I feel it's just too harsh. Tusker went out of their way to show with a computer and an app in the computer that these are the players that we have. Tusker even made a phone call to KPL, the CEO, Jack Oguda, and asked, this is what we have. We don't have the cards, but we have, on the internet, we have players that we've registered. Could you corroborate with that?
Actually, even KPL have the players.
So can you ensure that this is what on the other side you have? And they said, if you guys have that, it's the same as what we have on this end in Nairobi, so you guys can go ahead and play. Zuke Richo and their coach and the administration, they said, if that is what the KPL has said, and we can see you guys, because these players have been playing in the league for the longest time, we can see all these players are Tusker players, let's go ahead and play. The rules say if the players are ineligible, if the players don't have the required documents, the match should not go on. But the referee said, let's play. The officials from the other end said, let's play. After the end of the match, then they go back behind their back and say, these players are not eligible. Now, that's not fair. But for Pascal, this kid from Kariobangi Sharks, unfortunately, I was in that match. It was in Nakuru.
Yes.
And these guys, the ref made the right decision. He gave a penalty, and the kid, in the process of pushing and shoving with the ref and the match officials, the guy is complaining, which is normal. He pulls the card from the ref and tears it apart in front of everyone. The assistant referee was there, the commentary team, the cameras were there, some guys from the media, everybody saw it. And, so that you can send a message, especially to the young players coming up, so that you can send a message. Discipline has no place in soccer or in sports. In discipline has no place in sports. Then you have to do that.
Actually, again, I have to second you on that, because you look even at the Super Cup, what Cristiano Ronaldo did, shoving the referee. He got a 5-match ban with a 3,000 euros fine is supposed to be. And when you look at football historically, when players start going against the referees, they are going to beat the referees. The next thing you are going to expect in that field is hooliganism.
Yes.
Because now this team is like, if we can beat up an official, we can go ahead and now fight this game out. And if the KPL and any other stakeholder do not stamp the authority in the game, we are going to lose this forever, and we cannot have any.
Exactly what you're saying. The fans have so much passion for these players. So I like Asike as a player in AFC Leopards. I love him. I love how he plays. He's the one who makes me always come out and support my team. And I see him getting angry and pushing the ref, and maybe exchanging words, getting violent or physical with the ref. Next time, guess what will happen? Because this is my friend. I don't want to see this happening to my friend. I'll jump on the field.
Yes.
And so, like you say, the KPL and all the disciplinary bodies have to step in and show the authority that they have over football and over football administration, and make such rulings. Just that maybe they should be made fast enough.
Yes.
This one has taken too long. Even the Tusker, whatever, you gave an example of Cristiano Ronaldo. It did not even take 3 days before that ruling was made. That decision was later. They played on Sunday, and by Wednesday, everybody knew Ronaldo is not playing.
Yes.
And remember, our WhatsApp SMS line is 0700-345-457, 0700-345-457. You can keep your SMSs coming, and you want to be sampling them during the show. What do you think about what the IDCC, Independent Disciplinary and Complaints Committee, ruled with regards to docking points from Tusker? Now they sit 6th on the table of 18-team log, of course, after moving from 3rd place with 32 points to 29 points, after being deducted 3 points, of course, after fielding players who lacked FKF-accredited badges against Zuke Richo, a game they had just won 2-0. What do you think of the ban by Moses Adagala Moroni Youth Football Club chairman over what IDCC termed as, incitement of their fans to cause chaos and violence at Muhoroni Stadium. And of course, Pascal Ogweno being banned for 6 months for tearing a match referee's cautionary card against Posta Rangers. Maybe as we head to Gotv Shield action this afternoon at Nyayo National Stadium, 2 fixtures lined up. I don't know your kick prediction about that. Sony Sugar against Bandari, a football club, alongside Kariobangi Sharks, also taking on Eldoret Youth. What do you make of those 2 clashes?
Great, Eldoret Youth, new kids on the block. I don't think we've seen them getting to the quarterfinal stage. I don't even think they've gotten to the second round or even participated in the GoTV.
This is the first time actually they have come on board and they are really doing great getting into the quarterfinal. They're coming up like GFU 105 did.
Which almost caused trouble to Gor Mahia.
Yes. Some of these teams, the only unfortunate thing is that the coverage is not as good. The football coverage over the country, all over the country, is not good. Because somebody who says GFE 105 was a surprise team, I played against GFE 105 in 2011 when I was coaching in Nakuru. In 2012, we played against GFE 105, and they were always a tough team. We went to Eldoret, they beat us 2-1, and we had a very strong team. Noah Abich, Hugo Nzoka, Titus Mulama, everybody. We had a very strong team, and they beat us. Yes. So when they got to 2014 and they beat Gor Mahia, and everybody says, we don't know where these guys came from, it's just because the coverage is not good. I think this team from Eldoret also, I think they have a very, very a promising side. They could be because of the stage and the level of competition, maybe they're in the quarterfinals of the GoTV, and probably it's going to be televised. Then the stage fright could come in and maybe make them lose the match. But I think it's going to be a very, very tough match for Kariobangi Sharks. Remember Kariobangi Sharks playing 2 years back, and even last year when they played and got to the semi-finals, they looked like the underdogs. They played against Ulinzi, and it was a very, very tough match for Ulinzi, despite the fact that Kariobangi Sharks were playing a league lower than them. This match for them, I think, is going to be tough. Eldoret has always had some very, very good talent. Ken Rero, Tom Rero, and everybody, name them, Kimuyu, Charles Kimuyu, and everyone. So it's going to be a tough one for Kariobangi Sharks, but I think they'll win. They'll win easy. The tough one is Bandari against Sony. Bandari have won this cup 2 years back, right?
Yes.
They got to the finals and won and went to represent Kenya in the Confederations Cup. They just beat Gor Mahia the other day in Thika. Pants down. No favoritism, no nothing. They just had a good day against Gor Mahia. Playing against Sony, very tough team.
If I have to put you on the spot,
yes.
Because when you look at these teams, we've got Kariobangi Sharks, that is KPL. We've got Bandari Sony, that is KPL. Then we've got Tusker FC, that is KPL. You look at the log in KPL, everybody is saying it is Gor Mahia on top. We've got Ulinzi Stars. We've got Posta Rangers in that side. So something like 1, 2, 3 is sorted for KPL. Now, the GoTv quarterfinals is the stage set for Tusker to say, I want to retain this trophy. It's mine. Kariobangi Sharks is saying, I've been in the top 6, in the top 4 of the KPL. I can go all out and win the GoTv shit. It might be the tough end of the GoTv more than even the KPL.
Oh yeah, it is. And what makes it even more challenging and more tough, like you said, is that this is a tournament. This is not a league. This is a tournament. It's a knockout, actually. When you lose in this match, that's it for you. In a league, you have room to go and plan again for the next match. I think being a tournament where we are in the knockout stage, any small mistake you make makes you lose everything. I think that's what makes it really, really tough. And as you're saying, I think we are in the tough end of it, unlike the KPL where we still have about 18 more matches to go.
And then talk of Wazito FC with Frank Ouna. For the very longest time, I think since 2012, Wazito FC have been really coming up. They've been pushing all that way through. It is their first time in the quarterfinals of the GoTv Shield. This is a team to watch for the future.
Oh yeah, they're coming up well. They have good organization. I think they've also recruited well from the technical bench to the playing unit. Francis Oduor is there. Frank Ouna has been with Gor Mahia for some time, for about 3 years. He's now on the technical bench with the national team. The recruitment is also very good. George Midenyo also on the bench for Wazito. You can see what they are doing in the nationwide, in the Kenya Super League. They have a big chance of qualifying for the Kenya Premier League next season.
Yes.
So they're coming up very well. I think think this is a good stage for them. It's a team to watch. Like you're saying, years to come, yes, 3-4 years, they will be a big threat in the even in the Kenyan Premier League. But in this match also, it's going to be a very tough match for Leopards. You know, Wazito, they've had a string of good performance. The confidence is high up there. They have a good coach, you know, and the stage is set where they're playing a team that has a lot of pressure. FC Leopards, if they don't win this, they have to win this match. So there's a lot of pressure. Leopards coming in, Wazito is coming in so relaxed. They've had a good season in the Nationwide League. They seem like they're going to be, coming in the Premier League in the next season. Now they have a chance to show the world what they have. You know, the results we're having in the Super League are not by chance. So they have a chance to show this against FC Leopards. It will be tough for Leopards because it's going to be all about up here.
What do you make of the professional setup of Wazito FC? Of course, it has direct links with the University of Nairobi. Most of the players featuring for it are former students, and some of them still schooling at UN, even the managers and leaders at the helm of the team, Solomon Alubala, Luthas Mokua. What do you make of their setup professionally?
They are not there yet.
Will it work in their own betterment?
Oh yes, because the ideas that they have, you know, in terms of membership recruitment and, you know, selling merchandise to try and generate some income for the club and such stuff. I think the ideas that they have are great. And in the long run, if they do it well and they have the goodwill from the fans and the public, I think these are the kind of setups that we need. We need to have in almost all the teams in the country, especially in the top tier. You know, they're looking at, if you're a member, then you have access to some facility, maybe gym, and you know, getting discount on their merchandise and stuff like that. You know, they have promotions with companies like this just arrived betting company. Anyway, you know, so they have ideas that they can generate income with, that some of the clubs that have been in the Kenyan Premier League for the longest time, they don't have that. I think they're set up, they're doing it right. They're not there yet, but I think they're on the right track compared to a lot of teams in the top league.
Vihiga United taking on Tusker FC. Also, that fixture lined up tomorrow, and Vihiga United, of course, there were claims, especially on social media, that their main sponsor, Honorable Moses Akaranga, former county governor, having been defeated in the last elections, probably gonna affect them negatively as they even seek getting promoted to top tier. Now they are locking horns against Tusker FC tomorrow in Gotv. I don't know, what do you make of that?
Tough one also for Tusker, because I've watched Vihiga play. They mix a lot of physicality also with tactic. They have a group that are gifted technically and very talented, and their fitness levels are good. The soccer at the Kenyan Premier League, sometimes there's a sense of physicality which Vihiga can very, very easily contain. They're also doing very well in the Super League, in the Nationwide, a league lower than the Kenya Premier League. So, you know, Akaranga may be losing in the elections. I don't think it's going to affect them really, because I think they are on a good role in the matches that they're playing in the Super League. It's going to be a very tough match. Anytime these teams that seem to be underdogs play the teams in the Kenyan Premier League, the teams that have been there historically, I think it's always a tough match for the guys who've been in the game for a long time. So Vihiga is another surprise package that we might have in the Gotv.
We might have some very good matches in the semi-finals, but I gotta take you back, and one question I've got for you. The impact of Gilbert Selepo. You have worked with Gilbert Selepo. You have seen him in the field of play. Him going back to FC Leopards with Robert Matano at the helm of FC Leopards, Selepo coming in as the team man. These are two very qualified managers for FC Leopards. Is this the time we are going to see a very different setup in FC Leopards, where it will be good players going onto the field and going there to perform?
You know, because both guys have been at Leopards before at different levels. Matano has also played for Leopards, you know. So it depends how well they'll bring all that they have, what Selepo has in terms of administration, and also the technical part of it. If we can bring that to the bench and they put that together with what Matano has and the vast experience that Matano has, if they can put that together and make it work for the benefit of the team, then we are looking at a very, very tough AFC Leopards moving forward. But you know, one of the challenges is now Selepo is coming in the capacity of a team manager. And as a team manager, and we say we want to professionalize this, so that as a team manager you stick to your lane, and myself as a coach, I stick to my lane, then maybe Leopards will not benefit as such, or will not benefit as much by having both guys on the same bench, because they are not giving all that they have for the benefit of the team. If Matano can be allowed to bring his insight, his know-how in the game, and not Matano, Selebo, and Matano does that as the head coach, and they put their heads together, I think we're looking at a very, very tough FC Leopards going forward.
Because these are two guys who played together back in the day. Robert Matano was a full five. He was playing as a stopper, and Selebo was a midfielder. But they made good memories for FC Leopard. But before we leave this segment, we've got to come back and discuss the Kenya Premier League. One team that is put the gears on. Now we are going all out and try and win this thing. Is Gor Mahia. They're going against. They are 4 points ahead in the log table. They have one match in hand. They're supposed to play FC Leopards on Tuesday. But now it is them against Moroni. They're on a roll to win this thing.
Yes, Gor Mahia have a good season, and I think at some point in a previous show, just on this set, we said it was a good thing Gor Mahia did not win the league last season. For them to relax, take a look back at what we did well. They've lost some players, they've had some issues in the club, but at least Kwanzaa to ease off the pressure from the players. Now this season, Gor Mahia, the way they're coming out and the lead they've taken, in the Kenyan Premier League, they say if in the first leg, when we had 16 teams, if in the first leg you can clock the 30-point mark, then you are all set to win the league. Now Gor Mahia are beyond the 30 point.
Yes.
Right? And we're just getting into the second leg. They have a very, very good chance statistically, historically, looking at how many points the club, any team that wins the league finishes the first segment or the first part of the league with. I think they have a very, very good chance of winning it this year.
Robert Kimanzi, former Harambee Stars tactician, has insisted that his boys, Mathare United, the team you previously featured for, is not getting relegated this season, despite a struggling show in top tier, and they're looking once again at Zuke Richo this afternoon. I don't know. What do you make of that tie?
Very tough match for Kimanzi. Zoo is winning, and Mathare is not winning. The best they're doing is getting ties, and it's not good for them. Right now, any match, they have to get 3 points for Mathare to survive. And, some of these teams, when they get to the second leg, especially, we can, we can approach this game and say, against Mathare United, I'll only need 1 point. So for Zoo, a point against Mathare will be fine. For Mathare, a point against any team is not good. Now you go in with that pressure, you have to win, and they have very young players who are not as experienced in the league. So I'm not sure how well they can handle that pressure when the time comes and the team demands so much from them. Every match for Mathare is very tough. Saying you will not be relegated is one thing. And actually, not
playing for it.
It's another thing. I think the composition of the team, I'm not sure if they have the maturity that is needed to handle the pressure that they are in right now. Majority of those players have not been in such a situation before. I'm not sure if they know how to handle it from now going forward, because they have about 18 matches to go or 17 matches to go. And every match you have to win. Every match you tie or every match you lose, demoralizes you even more, regardless of how good the coach is. Naturally, the player just gets demoralized. So they're going in with a lot of pressure. Every match they have to win against Zoo, they have a very good run now, the last 6-7 matches. Saying it is one thing, doing it is another.
So you believe lack of experience that the Slum Boys has been one of the reasons for main downfall of this Mathare United?
One of the biggest undoing has been...
Actually, for me, for Mathare United, the loss of Eric Joanna in that midfield going forward has been a really, they have not found any midfield player to replace Joanna with in that midfield.
But there are a lot of factors also. Mathare United for the longest time, for the last 3-4 years, they've been struggling, fighting relegation.
Yes.
The last 2 years, everyone was saying these guys seem as if they'll be relegated, and then somehow they survive. But Mathare have a bigger problem because they are unable to retain good players.
Yes.
In 2012, they lost about 17 players. The following year, they lose about 10. Last season, they also lost a big chunk of the squad that they had, including Eric, that my friend
Kamura
is saying.
himself.
Kamura going to FC Leopards. So they're not able to retain their best players, which is a very, very big problem. Most of the clubs that they compete against, look at Gor Mahia. retaining almost everybody. Musa, Shakava, Nzigi Imana, Walusimbi, everybody. The strongest players, their best players remain in the team. Mathare United, your best player leaves. Look at Mwangi on the left. Kamura in the central midfield, left.
Gone.
You know.
Aizuza.
As we wind up, another clash pitting former Kenyan internationals, of course, Nicholas Muyot with Thika United and Bernard Malala with Ndoya Football Club. What do you
The future of coaching in Kenya now.
The future of coaching,
The
I tell you,
future of
man.
coaching in Kenya now.
Thika
Very
United
tough.
against Ndoya?
Tough. The other day I was...
Thika United just sitting 16th on the log, Ndoya 7th.
Yes, and not winning much also, Thika United. It's a tough one. It's a very, very tough call because Nzoia started off very well and now seems like the momentum is now slowly going down.
The intensity of the KPL is catching up.
Yes,
with them.
catching up with them. I'm not sure if they have the depth that they need to get to the end of the league with the same intensity.
Yes.
It's a tough call. I really hope that Muyoti can get some points from this match, at least 3 points. But also, you know, Malala is a good friend of mine, and they have a very good team. So it's a tough one, my friend. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
It's a very
Got several fixtures lined up this afternoon in both Gotv and KPL, top tier, and Chemelil Sugar playing against Rangers, Mathare United against Zuke, Richo Muhoroni Youth Football Club against Gor Mahia, 15-time KPL champions, and Sofapaka taking on Nakumatt, while Thika United play host to Nzoia Sugar. And those are the fixtures lined up this weekend in KPL. And joining us on set was Simon Sepe Mulile. I'm a former Kenyan international who was just dissecting about what's happening in local football and the expectations as far as GoTV and KPL action. Maybe your parting shot as we wrap.
We keep it sporty. Let's keep the peace.
And United is going to win this afternoon.
Manchester United.
We'll be right back.
George Nyambua, the captain of Kenya 15s, a team that will be locking horns against Hong Kong tomorrow in a full test match fixture at RFA grounds. We caught up with him and had some sober and exclusive chat. Let's take a look. It's the touchline on Y254.